Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation live in Studio B. We just wrapped up the official press conference with BYU Athletic Director Tom Holmoe announcing officially his retirement. He will carry out his contract through August, and he is kind enough to join us for a few moments here. Tom, I think we need to start with what in the world we're going to do with our #1 rated Halloween show now.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. What do we do now?
I think that my sister-in-law, Rhonda, and Janine, my makeup artist, I think they're retiring too, at least from the athletic AD Halloween party. So you never know. We might do a little retro reunion time. I might drop in some Halloween.
Please do.
When you least expect it.
Well, on Halloween we'll expect it, but
Rhonda, Janine, I don't know.
There's an open chair for that.
Yes, absolutely.
How would you sum up your emotions right now after that press conference?
I'm really happy. I'm happy for all the great people that I had a chance to work with, to have opportunities to rub shoulders with BYU student athletes. You all know you get to do that, but I get a little bit more of the emotions and the passions, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. And that's my favorite thing. I've always said that our student athletes are the secret sauce, and they're my bliss. That's why I do it. I like the one-on-one conversations. Like I say last night, Mo did a great job playing defense on their great guard. And to see him coming down the hallway and the look in his eye and just drenched in sweat, and I just give him a big hug and get slopped with sweat. That's what an AD does, baby.
You're in it. Your adaptability is something that really sticks out from your tenure of, okay, things change, I have to adapt. Whether it was COVID or NIL or transporter, rev share, all that. How did you sort of get to that point where you were willing to embrace the future as opposed to bristle with the past?
Yeah, I think that in the world of athletics, change and transitions happen every day. And I think we start looking at it when we're young kids. You just don't know it. I mean, when you're in Little League and the coach, pinch hits for you, that's change. When you get to high school and you are on the football team and you love the game so much and you can't play beyond high school football, that's change. When you get to college at BYU and you're the big star and you come in and all of a sudden you're small fish in a big pond, that's change. And so you have to adapt. You have to be willing to change. But I think there's a contrast, and that is what I'm really aiming for is stability. And I think that that's really one of the things that has led to any successes we have here is that we have a stable ground, a foundation that started with Lavelle, and many of our coaches and players and administrators have built that foundation firmly. You got to keep continuing. So when you do change, you can transition because you're built on solid ground.
Tom Holmoe, BYU Athletic Director, is the star of the show, understandably, today. This is a loaded question, and you've already touched on it a little bit, but what do you hope you are remembered for in your 20 years as Athletic Director at BYU?
I really think that history will write that. It's not for me to think what I was for. I just know what I remember, not what I'm remembered for. And I will remember the student athletes and coaches that day to day to day, you're right there. We've had student athletes that have come to BYU with the greatest dreams and goals, and they have so many things ahead of them, and it doesn't work. They have to transfer and they go somewhere else, or they get injured and they can't do it. From that to, Jimmer, last night, just our cross-country championships. Those are things that it's just like a shot of adrenaline every time you see one of our people reach a goal, reach a dream, have a vision, and it comes true.
Was one of those goals getting BYU to a power conference, and then once you got there, was it like, okay, I feel like I've reached that point? Was that a big thing for you? Because that was a big thing for the rest of us.
I mean, it was for sure something that everyone in Cougar Nation has wanted and planned on since 1980. I mean, Lavelle kicked it off, and everyone since has tried to chip in. You guys do that. If you think about the brand of BYUtv and Sports Nation, that helped lead to Big 12. I really think when you go on the road, like last night, we were in Morgantown, and there's 100 people after the game in Morgantown. That led to the Big 12. When we were in Egypt with the women's volleyball team a couple years ago on a summer tour, we show up at a gym in Cairo, and there's like 12 people that we didn't even know were going to be there in Cairo. That's what this is. And so it just never ends, and I'm glad to hear that.
What will you miss most? Maybe you've already answered that, just the interactions with the athletes. I know that's part of it. What will you miss most?
All of it. I'll miss all of it. I think that, the good, the bad, and the indifferent, like some days are better than others. I always tell my wife that some days I drive 7 minutes from my office to my home, and it's a tough day. It's a bad day. And sometimes I take the long way home, stop off at Swig, get a stiff one. But here's the thing, for 20 years, the next day, I can't wait to get to work. There's never been a day in 20 years that I haven't got in my car and go, let's do this. Because every day is a new day. The ends of the day aren't great, but the beginning of every day is awesome.
Can you speak to your love of all the sports? Because there's some ADs elsewhere, it's like football and basketball, and there's some other sports. This is a complete athletic department that has greatness all over it. Can you speak to your love of all the sports in the athletic?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of go back to when we were a split department. We had a men's department and a women's department, and one of the things that President Samuelson charged me with was bringing those two departments together. And I remember carefully, very vividly, there was somebody in the department that said, when I got hired as the AD, there goes the women's athletic department. And I thought, okay, let's see how that goes. And I made it like just a personal challenge that we weren't going to slip. Our women's department has been good for a long time. It's a department, our women's teams, coaches, players. But you all see it, you cover it. Every one of our student athletes, 631, whatever the number is each year, they're all children. Like, you asked me who's my favorite player? Like, out of 631, I have one. No, they're all, I have them. I have different reasons why I love each and every one of them. And it could be football, and it could be soccer. It could be gymnastics, it could be basketball. But they all come here. We brought them here. We inspired and lit a light, a fire underneath them that they're going to come here, and we got to take care of them. And they have hopes and dreams and goals, and it's our dream, it's our opportunity. That's what it is to do it together. So that's what it's all about.
We'll finish with this, as we've got about 60 seconds before we have to wrap up the show. But do you have any final words that you'd like to offer to Cougar Nation at this point? Again, you're not gone yet, but this is the day where we are celebrating you in large capacity. What's your message to Cougar Nation?
It's two words: go Cougs. And I say that.
Amen, Tom.
I say that because no matter where you go in the world, I'm recognizable at Macy's in Provo. And it's so fun for me to be shopping down the aisle and somebody looks at me and says, go Cougs. Man, I think that's the essence of what it is. Everybody has a different level of fanship, of passion, but from the little tiny babies to the oldest of old fans, go Cougs sums it up for everybody.
Love it.
Amen.
Tom, thank you so much for your
Thanks,
tenure
Tom.
and all you do.
Appreciate it, man.
That wraps up the show. Our thanks to today's guest, Tom Holmoe. For Jarom, I'm Spencer. And as he said, go Cougs.